So this is a video I've been meaning to do for a while. There are a lot of movies that I've wanted to see my entire life. Now, there are certain movies I dreamed of and actually came true. There are a few of those movies that have happened, so I don't want to act like every single movie I've wanted to see hasn't happened. There's been so many movies, great movies, over my lifetime. But there are certain ones that I've always thought were gonna be made, or I dreamed of being made. But in this video, I'm going to be breaking down 10 movies that I really want to see in theaters still. 10 movies that I really want to see, and I do think could possibly still come to theaters. At number 10 on this list is Mummy 4. The first Mummy and Mummy Returns movies are classic movies. We reviewed them on the channel. They're perfect movies in my opinion. The 1999 original is great, and the 2001 was just as good, if not better, with Brendan Fraser. And I do think that these movies just had a really nostalgic feel to them. Obviously, I've seen these movies so many times, and to see a Mummy 4 where they actually return all of the characters would be great, to have Brendan Fraser, but then to also have Evie come back, I think was the missing piece in the 2008 Mummy 3 movie. And if they made a Mummy 4 and brought all the original cast back, including the main characters Rick, O'Connell, and Evie, I think this movie could be great and is a movie I really want to see. At number 9 is a Predator prequel. Now there's going to be a lot of prequel requests in this list because there's plenty of good ideas. The 1987 Predator movie was excellent, is excellent to this day, holds up with Arnold, and is an excellent movie with so many great characters that all get killed off. You could easily have a great prequel with this movie showcasing all of these amazing military characters. You've got so many amazing ones just displayed for a little amount of time in that movie. And to have a Predator prequel with all these amazing characters, it'd be amazing to see all of their tours, all of their battles in the Army in the past. And to see this prequel would be epic and is definitely one I want to see. At number 8 is a Town prequel. The Town is a 2010 movie starring Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner, and is a great movie that just gets better and better the more I watch it. Has amazing characters, and is about a group of guys. This is an amazing movie and has a lot of amazing characters that, once again, like Predator, all get killed off, except for our main lead. And I think seeing a prequel would be a great idea for this movie because it could bring the characters back. And to see these characters just in another movie in general is what I want to see. And it kind of has to be a prequel since all the characters die. And I'd love to see a prequel to this movie to get these characters back on the screen and just to get some more amazing scenes together. Because this movie was not made that long ago. So to make a prequel for this, I don't think is that far-fetched, and I really want to see it. Now, number 7 on this list is an Ancient One origin story, or a prequel, because the Ancient One in the 2016 Doctor Strange, in my opinion, stole the show and was a character I liked even more than Doctor Strange. And I think that to see an origin story of the Ancient One would be epic. I think she was an amazing character in Doctor Strange. She had epic scenes, but she wasn't the main character. So I would love to see an origin story with the Ancient One actually as the lead. And because she's been around for so many years, hundreds of years, and so there's plenty of material. I mean, it's not even a question that there's plenty of material. You could make 10 movies, but I just want to see one prequel movie starring the Ancient One. It could definitely happen, and is on number 7 on this list. Now, number 6 is a Halloween 3 Halloween Ends remake, which if you've been watching this channel, you know that we all hated Halloween Ends. We think it's a disgrace to humanity, and we really want to see a remake, but they have to remake this movie. It will never happen. I'm convinced it will never happen, but I still can request it. They need to remake this movie, and I really want to see a remake of Halloween Ends to end the trilogy off on a high note. At number 5 on this list is 303. Now, the 2007 300 movie is one of the most epic movies in history. And then the sequel to it, 300 Rise of an Empire, was just as epic, with Leonidas in the first one to Themistocles in the second one. Now, Themistocles is still alive, and there is still a chapter of this movie that needs to be told, because Xerxes is still alive by the end of this movie. And with 300 being such an epic movie, and then the sequel being just as epic, not as good of a movie, but still amazing, this movie has to happen. The story needs to be finished. Xerxes needs to be killed. I've been waiting for this movie for a while. I don't think they'll ever make it, especially the way that movies are made now. I don't think it could work. 303 has to happen, and it's number 5 on my list. Now, number 4 is Pacific Rim 3. There has to be another Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim is one of my favorite movies, and then the second one, Pacific Rim Uprising, a movie that I really like. Basically, no one likes it that I watch. It got some of the worst reviews from our main critics on YouTube, but I don't see the hate. I really liked the movie. I think it gives you exactly what you wanted. Monsters versus robots, and that's what you get. And I want to see another movie just like this. I've had my critiques of the movie. They focus on the kids too much. They need to have adults as the pilots. They're minor fixes, but these movies, I just love these movies because there's so much potential here. And this movie could possibly set up a crossover, which I will bring up later in this list. But I love the Jaegers in the first one. And then the second one has one of my favorite kaijus in the Mega Kaiju. They can actually go to the different universe where the kaijus are. They can actually go to the precursors. And there's a perfect storyline set up. And I really want Pacific Rim 3 to happen. And that's why it's number 4 on my list. Now, number 3 is a Marvel-DC crossover. Marvel versus DC, it just has to happen. Everyone wants to see it happen. There's rumors that it kind of has in certain respects with Deadpool and Wolverine. I want to see a full-out Marvel-DC crossover. And the reason why I think this is at number 3 is because there's certain characters that I want to see as certain actors. And with the DC universe and the Marvel universe, there's a lot of actors that are hitting the road. And specific ones that I think I'd still like to see certain characters with each other as different actors. But there's certain actors that make up characters to me that if they change the actor, it might not even be worth it anymore for me. Like Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, Henry Cavill as Superman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and Ben Affleck as Batman that kind of make the crossovers the only way I really want to see them. There are certain characters that, certain actors that have made themselves, turned themselves into certain characters that I just have to see them that way. I'd still love to see it. I don't care what actors at the end of the day, but it won't be as impactful if it's not the actors that we know and love as these certain characters. Now, at number 2 is the Pacific Rim Monsterverse crossover, which is one of the easiest crossovers in my opinion. There's so many ways you could do this. There's so many ways you could set this up. It doesn't even need to be the original Jaegers from Pacific Rim. You could just have humans create Jaegers in the Monsterverse, and then you could bring actors over and just pretend like it didn't even exist. Pretend like the Jaegers are just being created now. It doesn't really matter how you do it, but there needs to be a crossover between certain characters and these Jaegers versus the kaijus. You gotta see Gypsy, some form of Gypsy Danger, Avenger, whatever the different names are with Godzilla. You need to see it. To see the Jaegers fighting along Godzilla and Kong is just a big dream of mine. I think it could still happen, but I'm not too hopeful. The number 1 on my list is definitely the Hulk sequel. In a perfect world, I would love to see the 2008 movie just continue from there and have a sequel just based off that movie. I realize that will probably never happen. Edward Norton is one of my favorite actors and was perfect in that role. So that would be in the dream world. We have Edward Norton come back as the sequel. I realize that's probably the most far-fetched. That is obviously what I'd request the most. But at the very least, I'd love to see an individual Hulk sequel, because the Hulk has been very disrespected and the character has not been itself for the past how many movies? The last we really saw him, if you can even count this, is Infinity War. He fought Thanos and was doing good, got beat, disappears, and never comes back. We get Professor Hulk, and then we get the absolute mess that is She-Hulk, that I'm not even going to get into. The Hulk that everyone loves is the 2008 Hulk. It's already very obvious that's the best Hulk and everyone's favorite, and that's what people want to see. And that's why I want to see a Hulk sequel, but they need to make a Hulk sequel where he's able to use his abilities. He's actually a force, he's the main character, and they do the character right. And I really want to see that, and that's why a Hulk sequel is number 1 on my list. Easily gets the number 1 spot on this list. But make sure you let me know down below what movies you want to see. What's a movie that you really want to see, you don't think it'll happen, it's a dream movie of yours. If you could pick any movie that can happen and be released in the next month, what would it be? Make sure you let me know in the comments below. And let me know which video I should do next. Make sure you guys let me know down below in the comments. And thanks for watching.